What's up, YouTube? My name is Pat. It's June 1st, 2019, and this is a review of my 2019 Street Glide Special. Going to talk about some of the things I did, would I do it again, and any recommendations that I could give where I'll either save you a bunch of bucks or help you spend a bunch of bucks. So let's dive into it. So originally, I went to Bartell's to pick up some parts for this bad boy. This is actually the only thing Harley Davidson about this bike is the name on the tires. But it's a 120 cubic inch Ultima based on a 98 Heritage, basically knockoff. Prior to this, I always had sport bikes. Love sports bikes. I'm probably going to sell that one and put a Ducati right next to it. But, you know, I'm 46 years old. And, you know, it's time for something a little more comfortable because the wife wasn't digging it. And last time I checked, you can't get a sissy bar on a GSXR. So, that being said, I originally just walked in for, again, parts and maybe a new leather coat. Saw this bad boy and picked it up. Bought it from Bartell's out in Marina Del Rey in California. And a solid group of guys. And went at it. So here's my list of mods, and I'll kind of start from the back. First thing I did is got rid of that ridiculous whip antenna and picked up this little shorty bullet sucker on Amazon for like, I don't know, 12 bucks or so. I will say this, it probably has the same reception as the whip has, but I think my biggest thing on that is the shitty sound coming from this infotainment center in the first place, which I'll get to in a second. So from here, this is my touring seat. It's a Lepera, I don't know, whatever it's called. And, you know, it does have the backrest here. And also got the sissy bar for the wife. Up top, I got the 14-inch LA Cycles bars. First started with 12-inch bars that Harley Davidson offers, and they were just brutal, far too wide apart, very uncomfortable. And, you know, I should have went with 14s in the first place, but they didn't offer it, so I stuck with the 12s. Literally had them on for 2 weeks, went back and got them to put this one on once got delivered from JP Cycles. These bars are fantastic. I cannot recommend them enough. The other thing I did up here was I got the lit controllers. You'd be surprised, it was only a $250 upgrade, and having those lit at night is fantastic. Also what I did is I got the deletes for the mirrors, and I'm running these lower, slimmer style profile ones, and heated hand grips because I plan to do a lot of riding. One of the things too, before it even left the dealership, is I got all LED lights put in and the passing lamps all in black. That was one of my piss offs with Harley Davidson, is that it was a very expensive motorcycle, and the fact that it didn't come with LEDs right from the get-go, a little cheesy, but whatever. It is what it is. Now we'll get into the engine stuff because that's pretty much where I put most of my efforts. So I got the Stage 4 put in. When I got the Stage 1 put in, I had them put on the Screaming Eagle slip-on 4.5s. Here's what I'll say about this. So right when I bought the bike, I had them put on a Stage 1 and a Stage 2 torque cam into it. I know these bikes. Doing a Stage 1 is always worth it. It got the Pro Tuner put in, and it was great. I was actually pretty pleased with the bike, and, you know, it was just chugging along. So then I went in for my 1,000-mile break-in service, and talking to a couple of guys about the Stage 4, and then the manager told me that the service manager said, hey, listen, if you do get it done, you know, you got a couple of weeks to do it, and we'll throw it into your warranty. So if you pick up a stage like this within your first 2 months of owning the bike, whatever warranty that you purchased will follow through. So since I got the extended warranty, because I'm expecting to keep this bike a long time and put a lot of miles on it, and like any 46-year-old piston head, bad ideas run through me like water. So I said, sure, let's throw it on. So it went from the 114 to the 117, and here's what I can say about it. So again, I was really pleased with the stage one with the stage two torque cams. I did find though that the power definitely dropped off around after 4,500 RPM. There wasn't a whole lot there left. So what they did to this is not only did they put the stage 4 package, I also put on the auto tune, and there was a couple other little things, but nothing major. Right away, this kit, you feel it from zero to hero. You definitely feel it. The one thing I will say is the throttle is so responsive that anytime you let it off, it's almost like you hit the front brakes a little bit, to the point that, the first ride that we did after I got the kit, my wife kept bumping her helmet into mine because it always jerked us forward, which will get me to the last piece of this. Lots of power. I wasn't really lacking it before. Definitely, this was an upgrade. Is it worth $5,000? I don't know. One of the big reasons why I got it now is I know in a year I'll get a little bored of the performance and I'll be putting it on anyways. So I did it right away. It is an expensive upgrade. So just a real quickie here. It cost me $5,300 out the door, and that included blacked out rocker bottom and top rocker covers, which I think look really good. Yes, it still says the 114 there, but I'm just going to be getting a black cover, which Amazon should be delivering hopefully today. So powerful stuff. The first 500 miles I had to keep it under 4,000 RPM, which I did, except for maybe once or twice. And I really behaved. And the reality is, I really never had to go over that 4,000 RPMs. Now you'll see a lot of stuff on the internet saying that this kit only really kicks in after 4,000 RPM. I beg to differ. That is not true. And since I have put on my 500 miles, and it's actually seems to be getting quicker and like noticeable as well. So, it's obviously going through its motions. The motor only had 1,000 miles on it when I got the kit done. So you feel it all the way through. So yesterday was the first time I got to ride it just au naturel, however I wanted, burnouts, wheelies, whatever, which I didn't do, but I definitely threw it up over the 4K mark, and it'll go 0 to gel in 0.2 seconds. It's definitely got some nuts to it now. Here's the one thing I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest this even if you just buy the bike and plan to keep it stock or stage one. Change the suspension, front and rear. So in the back, I put a set of Revo A's, and I got the 12-inch ones. I saw a lot of stuff on the internet that said, you should be looking at the 13s. Being 5'8", and the stock ones are 12-inch, I decided to opt out for the 12-inchers, and I'm really glad I did. And I also went with the Axo Legend suspension again, front end kit. And wow, what a world of difference. Now, the front end kit is not installed yet. That's going in on Wednesday. But I did install the rear, and best upgrade ever. I can't recommend it enough. Yeah, it's an added cost, but you bought a Harley. What do you expect, right? So The front end kit, I will have a review on that. I did drive somebody else's that did have it, and the nose diving and a couple other issues with it were not there when I drove his bike. So I'm expecting the same amount of mine. And but the rear, if you're going to do even just one of the two, the shocks did cost me $924 from JP Cycles. It's there's definitely some a lot more expensive, and there's a ton of them even cheaper. I did a bunch of reviews or watched a bunch of reviews and all that crap, and went with them. And wow, it's actually to some degree, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's got a bit of a sports bike feel to it in terms of going through the twisties, and I expect that to dramatically improve once I get the front end done. Overall, would I buy this bike again? Would I go through this whole process again? Oh, hell yeah, absolutely. I find these Street Glide specials and the Road Glides are just gorgeous bikes. I wasn't the biggest Harley guy for most of my riding time, which is about 30 years now. This bike here was my first Harley that I ever drove, and typically before that I had GSXRs and Hayabusas and whatnot. This bike was a lot of fun, but it was also very unreliable, and I was constantly wrenching on it. Beautiful. I love the bike, don't get me wrong, and it definitely didn't look like that when I bought it. But this thing just caught my eye, and now I find it's perfect. One other quick note. This is the 4.5-inch Harley Davidson wind splitter. When they put it on, I thought it was going to be garbage. I saw some bad reviews on it, but so far, I gotta say, it's actually pretty dynamite. Had the bike up to, I think, about 95 miles an hour, and was surprised. I do wish, though, and I'm probably going to go back and get the taller one. Somebody said that the only other taller one was the 7.5-inch, and they thought that the weird part of the visor would be right in my eyesight. Now that I see this one, I don't think so, and I think it'll protect the wife a little bit better on longer rides if I get the longer one. So I'm going to keep them both. I'm going to use one just for when we're going on a longer tour, and this is my kick around town one. But again, love this bike. It's just a hoot. Cannot recommend the suspension upgrade enough. And also these 14-inch bars. LA Cycles, they're just, these bars are so comfortable, and the bike just drives, and it's just so much better. All right, YouTube, thanks again for watching my video, and take care.